welcome back to my channel. So today I filmed this really beautiful like cherry kind of cut crease makeup tutorial using this beautiful eyeshadow palette here from Colourpop. This is their little mini palette here called Cherish from their Love Struck collection, where they released 5 new mini little palettes that look something like this, but they're all like different color themed and they are super beautiful. This is the more like pinky kind of cherry looking palette, so it's really beautiful and it's filled with like cranberries. I love like this matte cherry chocolate in there, so pretty, and this beautiful like pink champagne. To me this is just such like a romantic palette, and that was like the theme of their collection. It's like super romantic, super sultry and soft and really beautiful. So I love this palette. I love the look that I created using this palette. So if you guys want to see how I got this tutorial using this palette, and I did use all 5 shadows to create this eyeshadow look because I really did want to play around with every single shadow. So you guys will see like my first impressions on the formulas and everything in this palette. So definitely continue watching this video if you guys want to see that all, because I really loved it and I love the look that I created. It was actually super simple, but the cut crease just took things to like a more glam level, so I really loved it. And once again, these palettes are $10 American, so they're super cute because they're mini and you have 5 little shadows here. And I did a whole swatch video where I showed you guys swatches of every single shadow from all 5 palettes, so I will link that in the description box if you guys want to see the swatch video. And I also filmed a tutorial using their cool toned palette, which was the Ballad eyeshadow palette, a part of this collection. So I can link those 2 videos in the description box. And this is my second tutorial using the little palettes here. So this one was the Cherish one, as I said, and it's super beautiful. Stay tuned for the next 3 palettes. So I am filming like dedicated videos with every single palette. So I did film the Ballad one. This is the second one that I've used, which is the Cherish one, and I have 3 more to go, so stay tuned for the next 3 tutorials using these beautiful mini palettes. Okay guys, so let's just get right into this look. I'm gonna first start by priming my eyelids, and I do have this under eye setting powder here that I'm just using to catch any fallout, so I do this a lot on my channel. And my brows are also done, so I will link my brow tutorial in the description box if you guys are curious to know how I do my brows. So let's just get started with priming the eyelids, and I'm going to use this Urban Decay Primer Potion Original and just blend that out with my fingertips. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom you guys in so you guys can get a better look at what's going on these eyelids. Okay, so I'm gonna be going in with this Colourpop E22 blending brush into this beautiful warm matte brown shade here called Adore. So this shade's really pretty because it's almost like a pinky, like soft beige. So it's gonna look really nice in the crease. So I'm just gonna place that all over the crease. So that shade is really pretty. It's actually a lot more on like the rosy tones than it actually looks to be in the pan. So it definitely applies more rosy. It's a really unique color. As you guys can see, it's kind of like a brown, rosy, matte pink shade. It's really unique and really beautiful in the crease. I just love this shade here. And the overall palette, this Cherish palette, is really nice because it just reminds me of like a really like cherry chocolatey kind of palette. So it's super pretty and really nice for also Valentine's Day, so I love it. So that shade is so pretty on its own, but I do want to maybe use like all of the shadows in this palette. So I think I'm gonna now try going in with this pearl one here in the palette called Precious. So that is like kind of like a matte cranberry base with some gold pearls inside, and it's really pretty. So I'm gonna use the same Colourpop E22 brush and go into that Precious shade and just add that into the crease, and that's gonna warm it up a lot. So you guys can see that that shade is definitely a really bright like cranberry shade, and the gold pearls inside you don't really see too much when I'm blending it out, so they kind of just like fall away, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it's not going to be like a sparkly shadow per se, especially when you're blending it into the crease like this. The pearls just seem to fall away, so you're left with like a really nice, almost like matte satin looking cranberry shade there. So that's really pretty, and it definitely brightened up the eyes a lot. So that shade is really pretty, and I noticed that the pearl formulas do have a little bit more fallout than like a regular matte shadow, probably because it's pressed in with some like shimmers in there, so it makes it a little bit like looser. So that's just something to keep in mind, but I really love it. I think it blended out really nicely. It's super pigmented, and I just love that like cranberry shade. I think it's so pretty and just sultry. So next I'm gonna go into that beautiful matte, I call it like a cherry chocolate brown. I think it is so pretty. That shade there is called Forever, and I'm gonna use this Colourpop E25 brush, and I'm really gonna like smoke that into the crease to deepen it up furthermore. That shade is so pretty, it's so pigmented, and it blends out really beautifully, and I just think that these shadows are gorgeous. So I think that I do want to do a cut crease, so I'm going to use the Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Fair 00. So that is just their white concealer. I'm going to place that concealer on with this Colourpop E4 brush. So this is just like kind of a flat concealer type of brush, and I'm going to place that white concealer just on the inner corner there. Okay, so we have the concealer on, and I'm not worrying about the outer corners because I'm gonna go back in with that matte chocolate cherry shade and like deepen up the outer corners. So I'm just focusing that concealer on the inner corner. So now I'm going to prime my lids just where we have the concealer with the NYX glitter primer. So I love to do that before I use any like metallic shadows or anything, because I find that it just really makes them adhere really nicely and become even more metallic and last all day long. So I'm gonna place some of that just where we have that concealer there, and then I'm gonna go into those two beautiful metallic shadows in the palette. Okay, so on the lid where we have that cut crease defined, I want to go into those two beautiful metallic shades here in this palette. So there's this beautiful like cranberry metallic, and then there is this like champagne pink type of shade here. So I think I'm going to do kind of like an ombre effect. I'm going to start with that cranberry shade towards the outer and middle, and then on the inner corner I'm going to go in with that beautiful pink champagne metallic shade, which is so beautiful. So for that I'm going to use this Colourpop E25 brush. So first I'm going to put that cranberry metallic shade in the palette there, that's called Faith, and I'm just going to place that on the outer and middle area there. That cranberry shade is so pigmented and really beautiful, and that glitter primer just really makes the metallic pop even more, but it's such a buttery metallic shade. So I really love that, and as I said, I'm not really worrying about the outer corner because I am going to deepen it up a bit with that matte shadow, but right now I'm just packing in that cranberry shade. And then using that same brush, I'm just gonna use a wet wipe to clean away that cranberry residue, and then I'm gonna go into that beautiful pink champagne shade in the palette. So that shade there is called Destiny, and I'm just gonna pack that all on the inner corner. And I'm kind of bringing that shade towards the middle, and I'm just making sure that those two shades are blended together. So that's what's creating like that ombre effect. And I'm also using like a patting motion. So I'm not like really sliding it, but I'm more so just like patting that shade on there. And I just find that makes it much more pigmented when you apply it that way. So that pink champagne shade is so beautiful. I can't even tell you guys how pretty it is, but you guys can see for yourself how beautiful these metallic shades applied, and I'm just so impressed with the quality. Honestly, that little palette is so amazing for $10. Guys, I would run to my nearest store or online and get this palette because honestly, I'm really impressed. I think it is so pretty. So I've used every single shade in this palette and I am so impressed with it. I just think it's so beautiful and I love the way this look is turning out so far. These shadows are just performing really beautifully. Okay, so now I'm going in with this Colourpop E22 blending brush. I'm gonna go back into that matte chocolate cherry shade there in the palette called Forever, and I'm just gonna place that on the outer corner to really deepen up the outer corner again because we have some of the metallic there, so I just wanna make sure that it's nice and deepened up. Okay, so now I'm gonna wipe away the fallout. I'm just using this fluffy blending brush and I'm just wiping away all of that under eye setting powder, which has caught all of that fallout, which is great. So as you guys can see, it's nice and clean now. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with this Colourpop E9 little small blending brush here, and I'm gonna go into that matte, light kind of pinky brown shade there in the palette called Adore, and I'm just gonna blend that all on the lower lash line. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with this Colourpop E10 brush. This is a really like small pencil brush, and I'm gonna go into that nice matte cherry chocolatey shade there in the palette called Forever, and I'm just gonna deepen up the lower lash line really closely to the waterline with that little brush. So now I'm going to take this little Colourpop E29 brush and I'm going to go back into that shade there in the palette called Destiny, which is that really nice pink champagne shade, and I'm going to place a little bit more on the inner corners, and I'm also going to drag it kind of on the lower lash line, just on the inner corner area there, just to like brighten up the whole inner corner a little bit more. Okay, now in the waterline, I'm gonna go in with this nude creme gel liner in the shade called Honeydude. So this is from Colourpop, and I'm just gonna place that on the waterline. And I'm just gonna put on some mascara. I'm just gonna use this L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara, and I'm just gonna place that on the top and bottom lashes. So I'm just gonna pop on these lashes from Colourpop. These are their Falsies Faux lashes in the style here called Chick, and they're really pretty like wispy lashes and like thicker on the outer corners, so they'll give you more of like a cat eye look, which is super pretty, and I really love these lashes. I used them in my last tutorial, so I'm gonna pop these on. I'm gonna use the House of Lashes transparent lash glue for that, and then I'll be right back. And of course, these lashes are optional. If you're not comfortable wearing lashes, then this look will look amazing with just some mascara. Okay guys, so that is the completed look, and I honestly love the way this look turned out. It is like such a like sexy like cherry cranberry type of look, and I just love these colors. I think that they're so flattering and they're just different. So this Cherish palette here from Colourpop is so beautiful. This is the second little mini palette that I've tried from them. The first one I did a tutorial with that's up on YouTube is the Ballad one, which was the cool toned like gunmetal one, and I really love that one as well. But I don't know, I think I like this cherry one a little bit more just because I'm personally more into warm tones. So if you guys love these like cranberry reds, and like I just love that champagne pink shade over there, that shade is just like gorgeous. I'm just obsessed with those types of like metallic pinky frosty colors. So that one there is so pigmented, it's so beautiful and metallic, and I love them. I love the mattes in here also. Like that chocolate cherry matte shade there is so beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. And just all of them, to tell you the truth, I think that they're all really beautiful. I don't have anything bad to say other than the pearl one here that's called Precious just had a little bit more fallout than like the matte ones, but I feel like their pearl formula is a little bit more on like the loose side, so that's just something to keep in mind. And these little palettes honestly pack such a punch. I think that they're so worth it for $10. This is like so worth it to me in my opinion. I just think that you can do so many looks with this one little palette. Like all you need is 5 shadows is more than enough to do a bunch of different looks. I'm already envisioning like a nice look with just this like matte brownish kind of pink shade and maybe a little bit of that like pink champagne in there. I don't know. I'm already imagining looks. So if you guys want to see more looks using this palette, then let me know because I would love to create them for you guys. And I'm so excited to use the other remaining 3 palettes that I have not tried yet from this collection. So stay tuned for that. So if you guys like this tutorial, then please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Guys, have you heard noise in the background? It's because Lisa is always cooking when I'm filming.
It's not true. How long is it?
This is what I have to deal with. Like, Lee! Oh.
Wait,
so
you keep saying like, you said it like 3 times.
Ugh. What am I gonna say instead?
Don't say like, there's anything but like.
Anything but like.